How you doing, Coach? This is Coach. Hello. Hello. You guys hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. How you doing, Coach? This is Cortland Griffin with 3-point conversion. You guys fought back many times in this game. It's sad how it ended, but what can you guys take away from the resilience your team showed?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, look, this group fights. This group just really fights and finds ways to stay in games. That was a quite a performance from Atlanta in terms of their shooting, and they did a pretty good job with the offensive rebounds. They got 10 of them, I think. But yeah, our toughness and our will is something really to be excited about. I think, we had some slippage on both ends today, and stuff that we can clean up.
And your defense kind of ramped up midway through the fourth quarter. You guys were really putting a stop on those screening pops. Was that something that you pushed during like the timeout?
Yeah, we made a coverage adjustment, and the players did a really good job of executing it. Ultimately we wanted to let the percentages play out, but we weren't executing our under coverages the way that we need to in order for that coverage to work. And they had way too much daylight for those pull-ups. And so I think that allowed them to kind of get the ball rolling and get their confidence. And, and then from there, once you start a fire with players this good, it's tough to put it out.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Laura Albanese.
That final Courtney Williams three to win the game, was the defense the way that you wanted it to? Would you have preferred to switch it up?
There was a defensive scheme that we put in. That's about all I'm going to say about it right now.
Okay, and in terms of the first quarter going down by, I think at one point, double digits, what did you adjust in the second quarter to kind of get yourself back in the game?
Yeah, I thought, like I was referring to the slippage in our pick and roll coverages. Our bigs were really, really far back, and those guards just had a ton of daylight. So one of the adjustments was getting our bigs to start up a little higher and then not step up when the guard takes the pull-up jumper. And a few times we stepped up, and we haven't done that since training camp. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why we started to do it, but we gave up a couple of really easy, wide open layups. Give up a ton of points in the paint again. So I think that, part of it was us focusing. I think they came out hot. They hit the shots that they're supposed to hit. And, when we give them good looks like that and they knock them down, then it kind of puts us on our heels a little bit. And I thought that we did start to make adjustments and start to understand all of the little things that go into making this team capable of winning games. And I thought that we got away from those little details that have allowed us to win games like this to this point.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Coach. I was wondering if you could take us through what your goal was on that last shot, after the Courtney Williams three.
We were trying to create an open 3-point look.
Right. And to follow up, you alluded to the bigs, but I'm curious as to what you thought was maybe a little off from Kylie today, as, we didn't see her a lot in the first half. And
yeah, Kylie was sick yesterday with a stomach bug. And so she had to head home. We wanted to be safe with exposure to the team in case she had something contagious. We don't know for sure what it was, but Kylie's been, a rock for us. And I think taking that day off and being sick, I think she just, she got started a little slow and she started to find her way there. But ultimately, I thought Stokes stepped up and played a really, really good game for us. She was solid. I know that the plus minus didn't bear out, but I don't think that was Stokes' fault. I think she really was solid for us on both ends.
Thanks so much, Coach. I hope she gets well soon.
Miles Early.
Hey, Coach. Michaela Onyenwede had a fantastic game today. Can you talk a little bit about just that second quarter, especially, and just how much of an impact she had there in bringing you guys back from that double-digit deficit early in the first?
Yeah, I mean, Mick really had a bounce in her step on both ends. And I can't believe she only had 5 rebounds as I'm looking at that. I mean, I felt like she was everywhere. I know last game she led us in deflections in a really small amount of minutes. She led us in sprints. You know, we keep track of how many full sprints we get in a given game, and she led us in that too in a short amount of time. So Mick's energy is phenomenal when she has a bounce in her step, and as she continues to grow in terms of her confidence, you know, she is and is going to continue to be a heck of a player.
Thank you. And similarly, Sammy Whitcomb seemed to be absolutely everywhere for you guys on the court, hitting big shots and getting those clutch rebounds in traffic. Could you talk a little bit about Sammy's performance?
Yeah, Sammy has been she's really sparked us. I feel like her energy and her determination keep us going on nights where maybe we're a little out of sorts. She's really that on-court leader that we missed last year, and Benijah does it in different ways. She does it as well, but she does it in different ways. I thought Sammy did the little things extremely well. I mean, she had 4 steals, again with I think 5 rebounds. Yep, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 7 from 3. But you know, one of the things that's really stood out with Sammy is I think her career high in rebounding is like 2.3 a game, and she's up above 5 right now, and I think she's going to stay there, to be honest. I thought her defense was really solid. The effort was there for sure tonight. I thought our effort was really good. I just thought our execution wasn't as strong.
Thanks, Coach.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for joining us. You know, I wanted to talk a little bit about how great is it as a team for you guys that Sabrina Ionescu can shoot 211 from the field, yet you go to overtime with one of the better teams in this league. What does that say about your depth?
Yeah, you know, once we have our full group, I think we're really going to be talking about depth. I think right now, though, our crew can really step up at every position. You know, I really trust the people coming off the bench. I trust the starting lineup. You know, I trust this team. I never felt worried tonight. I never felt worried that we were going to lose. Even when we were down 13, I felt like as long as we gave them the instructions to make the adjustments that they would, and I think they did for the most part. I just think that Atlanta really did a good job, you know, crashing the glass and knocking down those shots. You know, that's the shot that we're normally willing to live with if we execute properly, and we didn't defensively. We didn't quite execute the coverages properly. But no question about it. You know, the fight of this group and the depth of this group are 2 of our strongest attributes.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Coach. Next up, we have Sammy Whitcomb.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Laura Albanese.
Hi, Sammy. I was just wondering, as a player, is there an extra level of frustration when you're talking about a game like this, where you guys fought back numerous times, were finally able to get a lead in the fourth quarter, and then to kind of have it slip out of your fingers with that Courtney Williams 3?
Yeah, I mean, every loss is probably frustrating for different ways, but yeah, I think the fact that we were able to fight back in that one, it feels a bit like we gave it away, I think. But, you know, credit to them as well. Like, she had to hit a tough shot. She had to hit some tough shots prior to that. But I think we would probably look more to where we let ourselves down with defensive, you know, mix-ups or whatever that we didn't kind of do properly, and some O boards and maybe some offensive areas that we didn't capitalize on as well. I feel like, yeah, we definitely are probably disappointed with this one.
When it does come to that game-winning 3 that she hit, what were you seeing defensively in terms of coverages, and do you like how you guys executed it?
No, probably not, considering she got an open 3. I just think we probably want it to be a little bit closer to or a little bit higher up. Probably force a 2 instead of a 3. But that's, part of the game as well. We'll have a look at that, see kind of, if there was what the issue was. But I think, she got it looked like a pretty good look at a 3, so probably not what we would have wanted.
Cortland Griffin.
Hey, Sammy, this is Cortland Cortland Griffin with 3-point conversion. Tonight, it seemed like you were everywhere on the court, getting your hands on pretty much everything you wanted to on the defensive side. And on the offensive side, you shot the ball really well. Can you elaborate on what you guys and what your personal motivation was coming into tonight?
Probably the same for every game. We just want to keep getting better. Obviously, we want to get wins as well, but I think we want to execute and execute whatever our game plan is. Obviously, for me, that hopefully involves knocking down shots. But for me as well, I feel like my role is to really be, provide energy, provide that spark, be the catalyst for those things defensively, hopefully as well. But I don't think there was extra motivation. I think we always want to win games. We always want to come in and compete and battle. And like I said, we always want to be taking steps to get better. I don't think we need any additional motivation for that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Sammy. I was wondering if you could take us through what the goal was on that final shot from you guys. What made it so hard to get a good look with that final 1.5 seconds left?
I think they did a good job probably of just switching. And when you switch, the person's there. And unfortunately, we needed a 3. So it's not as simple as they switch, we throw it to the big person with maybe someone smaller on them under the basket. We need a 3. So it's really tough when there's not a lot of space around the 3-point line when they're switching. And obviously there's the sideline as well, which works as another defender. So I think it was a tough spot to be in. And then obviously we have 1.5 seconds. So that makes it difficult as well.
Right. And I'm also curious as to what your plan was when it came to scouting and guarding Courtney Williams. It seemed like there was a lot of trial and error there. So what did you guys all learn from, how she played you guys, and how will you apply it to when you have to play her again?
I wouldn't say it was trial and error. We know what she likes to do. She likes to take the pull-up. So we wanted to go under and meet her on the pull-up. Obviously, she was knocking those down. So then we started chasing over, and I thought we did a really good job of then contesting them from behind, and we made it really tough for her. And I thought that was, I thought we did a much better job then with that. But I think it's you play the percentages more than I think trial and error. So I think, the percentages are she doesn't want to shoot 3s as much. So we're going to go under and kind of encourage that shot. But the thing obviously with Court is she's still really good at getting her 2-point shot. So we made that adjustment of going over still instead of under and contesting. And I thought we did a really good job of that.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Sammy, thank you for joining us. I wanted to ask about, what your thoughts are on the team's fight and death, because, you guys come in here. This is a night where Sabrina Ionescu can shoot 2 of 11, yet you still go to overtime with one of the better teams in this league. How does that make you feel from a team morale standpoint?
It's part of how we're built, obviously, with that depth. And I think just the other weapons that we have, like a Benijah, Michaela obviously was incredible tonight and stepped up. I thought everyone did a really good job in terms of their role. We can't expect, I know it's hard to not expect a triple double or close to that every night from Sabrina, but that's probably unrealistic. And we have to be able in those moments to step up and help her, because, in the moments when she carries us with those triple doubles, we got to be able to do it both ways, win in both scenarios. And I thought we did a really great job of fighting. Obviously, I missed a free throw that would have given us that extra point lead that probably, the game's over. There's lots of things that it comes down to that we got to clean up basically moving forward. But I think we did fight. We did use our depth. I thought that was what got us back into the game, the fact that we were able to. But yeah, obviously we came up a little bit short, but it's, I think, great for us moving forward in terms of how we want to continue to play, how we want to continue to beat teams and to play against teams. We'll need our depth all season for sure.
As one of the more experienced players on this team, you've surely experienced a game like this in many of your travels. So, is there a special message that you can give them after tonight? And as that vet, how great is it to see Michaela Onyeluede come out and just put up just short of 30 points?
Yeah, it's special to see her do that. It's something that I feel like, I see her every day and stuff. So it's not surprising as much for us. She works really hard. She's worked really hard on her shooting, and we've got really great players around her that did a really good job of finding her, but she continues to develop. So I'm really happy for her, but I'm not super surprised. I can't remember the other. Oh, the message to tell the team. Look, I mean, this is a long season, so there's going to be games like this. There are games that I feel like we stole, like we hit the game winner on Indy, like it happens. It's a bit of, there's an ebb and a flow to every season. But we have to stay, even keel. We can't kind of go high and low with that. We have to make sure that we're just focusing on the next game. We'll watch film. We'll take what we can from this. There's lots of things for us to take, good and bad. We have to take both. We have to be able to watch it and figure out, well, why did we give up this many rebounds? Why did we turn the ball over this many times? And take that and turn it into a bounce back game for the next game. But it's a long season still.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hi, Sammy. For the 7th straight game, Betnijah Laney hit the 20-point mark. How much of a lift is that consistency for you? You were talking a little bit ago about just how Sabrina, night in and night out, there might be teams throwing different coverages, but every single game so far this season, Betnijah's hit that benchmark, and she's as close as a sure thing to anyone right now in the WNBA. And just how much of a lift is that for the team?
It's huge. She's so reliable. She's a bucket. We need a tough shot. We need whatever it is, in the post, on the outside, pull up jumper. We know we can get her. If we get her in a good spot, we know we'll get a good shot, and more often than not, we'll score. And it's not even just her getting a bucket. Like, I think she had 7 or 8 assists tonight as well. She was really good at facilitating, which she is really good at as well, and she's happy to do that too. So it's massive for us that we have such a reliable scorer and such a willing passer out of that. She's tough. She's super, super tough. She's a vet as well. She knows what she's good at. She's good at getting to her spots. We have to, I think, make it easier for her. And then when they throw different coverages at her or double teams at her, we got to cut, we got to get open for her. And then we got to, do our job. And if she hits us when she's doubled, we got to knock down those shots. But yeah, it's incredible getting to play with her, and just the confidence I think she breeds in all of us because she's so confident and good at what she does.
Thank you. And both you and Michaela hit a couple of really big clutch threes, especially as you were on the weak side, because there were those doubles coming to Sabrina and to Betnijah Laney. What were you seeing on those coverages from Atlanta? Were they just trying to blitz and trying to make the rest of you beat them and try to take Sabrina and Betnijah out of the game a little bit?
Well, they were doubling most on balls, yeah, and obviously Sabrina and B come off of the most on balls because they're our primary ball handlers. So they were doubling, which is fine. We knew it was going to happen. They were doing it in previous games as well. It's a part of their defensive coverages. We were ready for that. We were just flashing, and we knew if we either got someone to the middle of the court and then or skipped it all the way if you could, which obviously Sab and Betnijah are really good at, they were able to just kick it straight away. But we knew those shots were going to be there, so we were actually really ready for them. And I think that's probably why Mick was really confident and comfortable knocking them down. And it's why we were able to get those passes there where we needed them to. I mean, that part wasn't the issue. We scored points tonight too. I would say defensively, we probably just let ourselves down.
Great.
Thanks so much, Sammy.
Thank you, Sammy. Next up, we have Betnijah Laney. Cortland Griffin.
Hello, Betnijah. Cortland Griffin with the 3-point conversion. You had 11 assists tonight to go along with 20 points. And in the first half, it looked like you were trying to be more of a facilitator. Is that just what the defense was giving you, or did you come in looking to set up the offense?
I mean, no, I think there was more of, that's what the defense was giving me, having me doubled and everything. So instead of me trying to force up shots, just get it to, the open person for a better shot.
And you were also 100% from the free throw line tonight. It seemed like you were making a concerted effort in the second half to get there. Was that your way of just trying to get the team back into a rhythm?
Yeah, just trying to put some pressure on them, attack and trying to get the best shot
Thank you, Benaja.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Benaja. I'm curious if you could just walk me through what was the goal on that final shot that you guys took and what made it so hard to try to get an open look and tie up the game.
I mean, we were just trying to, score. It was what, 1 point something seconds on the clock. And, I guess what made it hard was they know, what we're trying to do. They know what kind of shot we have to take at that point. And so they, they just did a good job of covering us.
Right. And what do you think the reason is that Michaela continues to get disrespected at the 3-point line by opposing defenses? I mean, she shot over 50% from 3 today.
I mean, I have no clue. I've been playing with her, and like you said, she's been shooting it at a very high clip. So if that's what defenses want to continue to do, then that's to our advantage. So I'm not going to help them figure that out.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Benaja, thank you for joining us. So it looked like you were happy to see your former teammates during the pregame. So what was it like to see them on the court, and what was it like to see to go up against Courtney Williams after working with her for a year?
I mean, it was it's always good vibes between us. I really enjoyed my teammates last year, so we just kept that same energy. But going up against them, it's not that anymore. They're my competitors, so that's what it is during the game.
And you guys come out here and you get to the foul line a lot in the second half, and Sabrina only shoots 2 of 11, but you're still in a game. You still get there. You go to overtime with one of the better teams in this league. What does it say about your team's fight and depth, and how inspired are you by it?
Just that we're very capable regardless of what anyone is or isn't doing. But I think that everybody kind of stepped up, but it's nothing to worry about because we know what kind of player Sabrina is. We know what she's capable of, and she's definitely going to be that.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Alex Strum.
Hi, Benaja. It's nice to speak with you as always. We see you a lot with that second unit, and a lot you're kind of you're carrying the scoring load, kind of a microwave score. But today we saw you playmaking, making passes for the other players. Can you talk about your synergy with the bench lineup?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you talk about your play with the second unit?
It was, it's the same. We talked about this in practice. Like our second unit comes in, and we try not to skip a beat because we have depth on the bench. So for me, it was just the same, just trying to play my game with my teammates.
And then to follow up, the Dream, they threw out a lot of traps, a lot of double coverages of both you and Sabrina. You had 7 turnovers. Do you feel like you attribute those to that coverage?
Yeah, they did a good job of, putting pressure on us. But, even with that, we were right there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Benaja. Next up, we have Michaela Onyemwere.
Okay. Hi, Mick. What a great game for you today. Can you talk about what got you going, and then what made the difference down the stretch for you guys in the end of the game?
Can you guys hear me?
Sorry, I just asked maybe what got you going today, and actually let me change that. What got you going today, and how are you finding yourself adjusting to the game with each game that goes throughout the season?
I just think having the confidence to, take and knock down threes is really important, especially for my matchup. Most of the time I'm guarding or my matchup is a post player. And so I know I have the ability to, step out and hit those threes, and my teammates and my coaches have confidence in me to do so. So I think that's kind of what got me going. And as far as what changed down the stretch, it was just our energy. I think that we were really, really just talking to each other in the huddles, encouraging one another. Just to keep going. We came out a little flat to start the game. And I think that changed in the second half, third quarter. And so, yeah, that was nice to see, obviously, to make a push, to have the opportunity to come out and win it. Obviously, it was not our day, but, we'll learn from this and get better for next time.
Thank you.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Michaela, great game today. Could you talk a little bit about Sammy Whitcomb's performance? She was really all over the court, stopping plays in transition, getting tough rebounds, and hitting some really big shots for you guys today.
Yeah, one thing about Sammy is just that she's so consistent in things that don't always show up in the stat sheet. Just her energy, her voice, her talk, her leadership. We hear it every single day, even in practice. And so that is just a catalyst for our team to just keep going. I think that's part of the reason why we were able to turn that energy up. Just her getting stops, deflections, steals, getting rebounds over people that are bigger than her. Just that energy is something that's so intangible that she brings every single day. And so I think she's so important. And then obviously her ability to knock down the three. When she's open, it's almost always going in. And so that's really nice to have somebody who's able to stretch the floor in that sense. But yeah, she's just an energy giver, energy spark at all times.
Thank you. And after getting off to a bit of a slow start today, in the second quarter, your performance really helped get the Liberty back into the game. Could you talk a little bit about how that worked and just some of the passes that you were getting from Banaj Eleni, especially, who was drawing a double and then finding you on the weak side?
Yeah, I think that's just what our offense is really predicated on is we rely on teams to overhelp. And it happens a lot where I'm just kind of standing in the corner. And Banaja is a great offensive player, not just scoring, but also seeing the floor. And she had like 12 assists today. And so that's just a testament to just her overall game. And so, yeah, she just saw me on the opposite side and I was just able to, hit some of those shots and attack some of the bigger people that are guarding me.
Thanks so much. Great game today.
Thank you.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Michaela. So I wanted to know what you think the reason is why defenses continue to disrespect you at the three-point line, because today you shot over 50% from three.
I guess in college, I really didn't shoot as many threes as probably I do now. Just, wasn't something that I really needed to do. And a lot of our offense is based on shooting threes here. And I've worked really hard. And like I said prior, my coaches and my teammates just always speak life into me and encourage me. And so when I have those open shots, like, I know I can hit them. I know I can knock them down. And if I don't, then they're still in my ear encouraging me. So I think that's just how our team works. We encourage each other, support one another, and just encourage each other to keep taking those shots because we put in the work every single day in practice. And so we know when push comes to shove, we're going to knock those threes down.
Brilliant. And so also, I want to know what you guys learned from this game defensively. Coach Hopkins talked about how you weren't executing certain coverages, but then you began executing them, and then, you couldn't finish this one out. So what did you learn about you guys defensively in this one?
Just sticking to our principles, I think, is the most important thing. People are going to throw a lot at us. We've been doing well thus far. And so people are going to throw a lot of us to kind of disrupt the offense. And so just continue to stick to those principles, whether that's pick and roll principle, whether that's those coverages, like you said, and how they were guarding our ball handlers. Like just continue to stick through that. But we'll learn, this loss will teach us a lot. And we have to have a quick memory because we have so many games coming up. So yeah, we'll learn a lot from this game, but those are just some things that we could be better at it.
Thanks so much, Michaela.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Michaela, thank you for joining us. Congrats on a very early career high. But on that note, it would have been a competitor of your caliber would definitely never do this. But it would have been easy for you to almost fade in the background almost with all the newcomers and all the returnees on this team. But how does it feel to come into this team and immediately make a difference? Because it's safe to say your shooting kept the Liberty in this game and rebounding as well, as a matter of fact.
I think it's cool. Obviously, like I would have wanted the win rather than the career high today. But I think it's definitely cool that I'm able to be in an organization where I'm able to contribute. And even if this wasn't the case, even if I was on the bench, I would still be consistent and show up every single day and do what I needed to do for my team and my teammates and my coaches. And so it's been definitely a great experience, but regardless of what this experience would have looked like, I would have been just as happy, just as excited, just as grateful to be in this position. So, just happy to be here in New York.
Speaking of New York, you come to this team, and one thing that you could really say about this coaching staff is that they're very hands-on. It seemed like Coach Hopkins was in your ear, particularly in the first quarter after you got the steal and went down to and got to the foul line. So, what can you say about the hands-on coaching of this team, with coaches always standing up, always in your ear, talking to you from the sideline? What can you say about your coaching experience with this team 7 games in?
Yeah, I think it's really easy to compete and go out there every single day and be consistent because we have such a great coaching staff who really believes in us, and they give us the freedom to, do what's best for us on the court as far as just like offensive schemes. But there's also a great balance where they're telling us what to do as well. But they just have so much confidence in us, and they speak that life into us. But they're also really honest with us as well. And so when you have a group of coaches like that, it's easy to go out and compete with them. And so I'm grateful for Coach Walt, Coach Dustin, Coach Jackie, and Coach LP, just for what they've done for us up to this point.
Appreciate your time and insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cortland Griffin.
Hello, Michaela. It's Cortland Griffin with the 3-point conversion. You've pretty much gone through the season and scored consistently, with the exception of a few games. Today, you were essentially the first option, definitely the second half. So can you speak on that?
I just try to stay ready and try to stay just consistent. I think that just coming here, I'm just very comfortable, and that's a testament to my teammates and my coaches, just continue to encourage me. And so when I'm able to have those opportunities, I need to knock those down, need to perform, just be consistent. And so, yeah, I mean, today it was my night, but tomorrow or the next game it might not be, and that's okay. We have such great offensive players, and so that's what's really nice, to be able to play with so many people who are so versatile, so consistent. And so yeah, today was my night, but it could be somebody else's, and it will be somebody else's, and I'll just be just as happy, just as I'm grateful for that as well.
And to piggyback off of Jackie's question about your shooting, you shot the ball at a pretty high clip, and you shot at 50% for a couple of games this season. How does it feel to essentially be establishing yourself as one of the better shooters in the W?
It just really goes back to the work. Like I said previously, a lot of our offense is predicated on shooting threes, and so that's just really something I work on every single day, and not just me, our whole team. And so we're able to really be successful at shooting the three because we all put in the work. We do so many shooting games, so many shooting competitions. We stay after, come early, and so that just is really a testament to the work that we all put in.
Thank you for your insight, Michaela.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela, and thanks everyone for joining.
You.
We'll send the post-game notes and recording shortly.